Well, coming up, are you thinking of starting your own business? An expert's going to join us live in just a few minutes with some helpful tips.
You're watching KCAL 9 News at 2.
Well, the new year will be here before you know it. A lot of folks thinking of starting a new year off with a new business venture. Today, we're getting some expert advice on how to get started.
Scott Ventrella from Positive Dynamics is here. He's going to share the 5 key tips that you're going to need to start your own business. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thanks.
So a lot of people are thinking about this. The economy is not great, so you got to know what you're doing if you're going to strike out on your own.
When you say a lot of people, hundreds of thousands each year do make the attempt. So you want to make sure that you get it right, because most of those folks, unfortunately, are going to fail.
And you say one of the best ways to start off is to get a good picture of what it is you want, right?
Yeah, and let me be clear on that. So, having some kind of a vision, both for your product or service, and this is really important, you want to have a vision as to what is your motivation, what is the big picture for you in your own life. In other words, are you doing this because you're escaping a bad boss or a bad situation? Are you doing this because you have a great idea, you believe in it, and you've got some good ideas and a good understanding, a reasonable understanding of the market and the viability?
And why is that important?
Well, it's important because that's what's going to drive you, because anybody trying to start a new business, you put a lot into that. And unless you have the bigger picture, unless you can attach it to something that's deeply personal to you, you may not have the fortitude, the resiliency to kind of bounce back from some of those setbacks. So you want to make sure you're fully vested.
It's not an easy thing to do, and it's certainly not a 9-to-5 job.
I think a lot of people think that it's an easy thing, because we look at other people who've been successful, which again is the minority, say, oh my gosh, if they can do it, I can do it. But there's a lot of can get lost in the details if you don't pay attention.
You also talk about putting yourself out there and kind of making it public. Because what puts the pressure on yourself?
It puts a little bit of the pressure on yourself, and also you want to make sure once you put it out there, you're going to invite, be ready for this, you're going to invite feedback from friends, family, mentors, trusted advisors, and they're going to be in 2 camps. One camp is going to be the yay, hey, go for it, and that could give you a false sense of security or confidence. The others will be, nay, are you crazy? What are you thinking? And then, you say, well, yeah, they're right. Let me just abandon this. What you want to do is look at it very balanced. What can I learn from this, and what adjustments do I need to make going forward?
And once you know what you want to do, number 3, write down the plan.
Break down the plan. It's really important to have that plan. What does that mean? You want to have an understanding of the marketplace relative to your product or service. What is my understanding of the marketplace? Do I have a business plan? Many people don't even think about that, and you don't need an MBA to have a business plan, but you should have a plan. You should have a marketing plan, an understanding of the competitive landscape. Who else is out there that's doing this? Can I make a reasonable profit? I'm not out at this for break even. I really want to give it a good go and make it a profitable business and grow it over the years.
And you talk about one good way to do that is to take care of the customers.
Oh yeah, it begins and ends with the customers, really. And so starting with the cash paying customers is very important. You want to make sure, because remember, you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. So when we talk about a startup, it's generally you and maybe a few people, if you're fortunate enough. You're not, most people don't start off with employees, but you want to make sure that you are fanatical about the customers, taking care of them, providing good customer service, giving them what they need. Also, there's other customers in our lives, not the cash paying, but those who are supportive of us, and you want to make sure that you've got them enlisted and supporting you. Because either way, either set of customers, if you will, if we're not being supported by them or taking care of them, that could undermine the business.
And then your 5th and final tip, execute. What do you mean by that?
Well, execute, and execute flawlessly. So you've got your plan, and execution is just making sure, because there's so many, you're spinning plates. So you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the market. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your customers. You want to make sure that you're growing in a reasonable way. Some people do it a little bit too fast. Some people kind of drag their feet. So you want to execute and get down into the minutia, all of the details that go along with executing your plan. Finally, you want to make sure that you remain positive and be optimistic, because there will be setbacks for all kinds of reasons, many of which I think are obvious.
Good advice. Scott, thank you for being here. For more information on Scott Ventrella and his tips for starting your own business, just check out our website, KCAL9.com. You can click Seen on TV.